It's a laser, simple as that. And even though you don't hear about it much, this one sensor can be the entire difference between a car guessing and a car knowing. Welcome back to the Smart Side, where we find clarity in the technology and mysteries that shape our world. Today, we're breaking down LiDAR, what it is, how it works, and why it's such a massive deal for autonomous driving. We'll also look at the real reason some companies swear by it, while others try their best to avoid it. Imagine driving at night in heavy rain. Cameras can struggle. Honestly, even humans struggle. So, how does a car see the world clearly in 3D when the conditions are working against it? That's where LiDAR comes in. LiDAR stands for light detection and ranging. But in normal language, it simply measures distance using light, specifically by timing how long it takes for a laser pulse to bounce back to its source. Here's the simple picture. A LiDAR sensor fires out millions of tiny light pulses every second. These pulses hit everything around the vehicle, other cars, curbs, pedestrians, signs, and they bounce back. The sensor measures that return time and instantly turns it into a distance. Because light moves insanely fast, that timing has to be incredibly precise. The math is essentially distance equals the speed of light times the travel time divided by 2. And we divide by 2 because the light has to go out and then come all the way back. Now here's what makes LiDAR truly special. A camera gives you a flat image, essentially a 2D picture. But LiDAR gives you a 3D map of the world made entirely of data points. In the industry, we call this a point cloud. And it's not just a cool graphic, it's a measurement. The car can tell exactly where things are, how far, how wide, how tall, and exactly how they're moving. So, in a way, LiDAR doesn't see like a camera, it scans. Think of it like a bat using echolocation, but with light instead of sound. Now, if LiDAR is so good, why isn't it the only sensor self-driving cars use? Because every sensor has its own strengths and its own weaknesses. Cameras are great at reading text, identifying colors, and spotting traffic lights. They're cheap and detailed, but they struggle with glare, total darkness, or heavy fog. Radar is excellent at measuring speed and working through terrible weather, but it's often low detail, kind of like seeing the world in chunky, blurry shapes. LiDAR sits right in the middle. It provides clean 3D geometry and rock-solid distance data. But it comes with its own trade-offs, and the biggest hurdle has always been the cost. Early systems were those massive, spinning hats you'd see on the roofs of prototype cars. They worked, but they were expensive, and definitely not ready for mass production. That's why modern LiDAR has been racing toward a new goal, becoming smaller, cheaper, tougher, and easier to hide on a normal car. So how do they do that? Some LiDAR units still use moving parts, like rotating mirrors, to sweep the laser across the scene. But many newer designs aim for solid-state LiDAR. That means fewer moving parts, or none at all. Instead of physically spinning, they steer the beam electronically. It's more like a smart flashlight that paints the world with distance measurements. Less motion usually means better durability, lower cost, and a much easier path to mass production. Now let's address the question people always ask. Is LiDAR safe? In normal automotive systems, these lasers are designed to be eye-safe under strict global standards. They're not trying to burn anything, they're just measuring. Think of it like a digital measuring tape made of light. Okay. So what does LiDAR actually help the car do? It comes down to 3 big things. First, 3D object detection. The car can easily separate the road from a curb or a bush from a person because the physical shapes are measurable. Second, accurate distance. Cameras can estimate distance, but LiDAR measures it directly. That makes things like merging onto a highway or stopping at a light much more confident. Third, mapping and localization. Some systems use LiDAR to match the point cloud they see right now to a pre-built map, almost like recognizing a room just by feeling the walls. So, in the best-case scenario, LiDAR isn't the only sensor. It's part of a team. Cameras tell you what something is, like a stop sign. Radar tells you how fast it's moving. And LiDAR tells you exactly where it is in 3D space. Now, you've probably heard the debate. Some companies say LiDAR is essential for safety because it gives reliable geometry that cameras just can't match. Others argue you can do it all with cameras and AI, because after all, humans drive with eyes, not lasers. But here's the difference. Humans have a brain trained by millions of years of evolution, plus context, intuition, and common sense. A self-driving system has to earn that understanding through sensors and software, and LiDAR is one of the most direct ways to give a machine a real, physical grasp of the world. So, why call LiDAR the unsung hero? Because when it works well, you don't even notice it. You just notice the car making calm, confident decisions, especially in messy situations where a camera might hesitate. And the tech is moving fast. Smaller sensors, longer range, and lower costs. The more LiDAR improves, the more it quietly changes what's possible for the future of travel. So the next time you hear the words self-driving, don't just think about cameras and AI. Think about lasers, measuring the world at the speed of light. If you enjoyed learning something new today, we'd really appreciate it if you hit like and subscribe. It honestly means a lot to us, and it helps us reach more curious minds like you.